For me, I respect the boldness, the balls.
It takes brass balls.
And obviously, pushing the envelope on a low budget near the end, where basically one of the heroes, the blonde pretty boy, I won't even bother trying to find his name. The blonde pretty boy gets on the bike and he's slashing people with a sword. He's got the chick in the back. Remember that bit?
It's the big heroic moment. Yeah, he has a samurai sword and a dirt bike. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the dirt bike's going fucking over theater seats and shit.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
This is my boomstick!
Swallow this.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Arrow in the Head Show. I am Lance, and of course, my other host is the Arrow himself, Mr. John Fallon. John, buddy, been a while. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been on the road for a while. I've been gone for 3 weeks. So I was in Chicago, your humble city filled with party animals, which I love. Then I went up in LA and stayed with my good friend, writer-director Eric Red, for 5-6 days, talking about our projects. And then I went to the American film market, mainly to license movies for Joe Blow Movies, our YouTube channel. And my film Break actually was also being screened there and being shopped there by the sales agent. So
We're gonna have some fun.
Stab him!
it was exhausting, actually, to be honest. I've always been the AFM, the American film market, for you guys that don't know, is basically a place where filmmakers try to get their shit off the ground. People scripts in their back pockets or finish film looking for distribution. And the other side of the fence is distributors who own content selling it to buyers, which would be us on Joe Blow Movies. So I've always been at the American film market as a filmmaker, as a creative. This is the first time I'm there as a buyer. And I have an all new respect for buyers because you got to be like 5-6 meetings a day. You got to be on. In between meetings, you're in the lobby. People, they look at your badge height. You got to be on, A, B, C, A, always B, B, C, closing.
Always be closing, yes.
Always be closing.
At the end of 6 days, I was wiped. I was fucking wiped, man. So, it was a good experience. I'm happy to be home, though. Before we get into one of my favorite horror party movies, as I call them, what are you drinking?
So I got a hurricane coming, so I got to go
Again?
get more liquor up. Well, supposedly, who knows? I'm new to this whole thing. But I got a bunch of stuff before. I got I think it's like a wine in a can. It's called Day Drinking Southern Peach. I don't know. It's like a 15% little thing in a can, but hey, to me, it's fine. I could drink this outside. I'm on the lawn. I could drink it, walking to get my mail. Wine in a can, buddy. What about you?
Well, we're parking our cars in the same garage, but differently.
You're going to be classier. Yeah, I knew it. Coppola. Nice.
Coppola. Francis Coppola. You see, this came about because I noticed I was ballooning, gaining weight. And I'm like, why am I gaining so much fucking weight? And I like my wine, and I've been buying this cheap wine at Walmart. Don't tell anybody, I got a rep. And I finally realized, I looked into it, there's so much fucking sugar in it. And that's why I'm becoming a fat cunt. So now I'm like, all right, fuck this wine. And I'm going to go pay a little bit more, And I read up on Mr. Coppola's wine, and not a lot of sugar, good Cabernet. I'm gonna, twirl it, smell it, listen to it, fuck it, and drink it.
Well, listen, I mean, clearly, if you're watching a show that Francis Ford Coppola is a famous director from Jack.
I hear you have no hair. It looks like you're bald.
I'm not bald, and I'm not a freak. You're a freak, Four Eyes.
You're such a dick. Apocalypse Now, The Godfather.
So I like Godfather 2 a little bit more than the first. I'm that guy. But I mean, the first is a masterpiece.
You know what, dude? We're never gonna get to the movie that we want to talk about.
You can't
I'm
fight me
gonna
on
stop
this.
right there, man. Is a masterpiece.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm just saying, I lean a little more too. But whatever, they're both great. The first two are great. Can we at least admit on that?
They are great.
Fuck 3. Can we say that? Can we shake hands and say fuck 3?
I'm not gonna say fuck 3.
Wow! Don't comment.
It's the lesser. But
you got to come at me for number
Andy
2.
Garcia was really good. You know, Pacino has the famous line. You know, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Yeah. So I can't say fuck 3, but I will say it's not at the same level as part 1 and 2. That's all right.
Oh, God. No! God, no! Oh, God!
Different conversation for a different show. Cheers, John, and cheers, everybody at home, huh?
Cheers, everybody.
Hello, my friends! Hey!
We gotta start getting sponsors. You know, we're always pimping people's booze.
Dude, all I ever wanted for an alcohol sponsor. I'll shill for an alcohol. I mean, I like alcohol. You know, people are just like, it's like, yeah, come on, Johnny Walker, Caval. You know, I'm from Chicago. Come on, Caval, help us out. Yeah, the green's good, the bourbon's good, the rope's good. Come on, man. Yeah, well then, but you and me would just become completely shit-faced if all we were drinking was some good Chicago whiskey.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to talk about 1985's Demons, directed by, and I wrote down his name.
Lamberto Bava.
Lamberto Bava. Okay,
son of, the famous, Italian genre director, Mario Bava.
You want to give the synopsis?
Well, you go ahead for a change. You do it.
Okay, sure. So, obviously it takes place in Italy, though I do feel that the whole movie really tries to kind of hide it. This is in the era where they had to sell to American audiences. Yeah. I mean, with score and everything else. So, I mean, I feel like they walk that line, man. Come on, these movies always try to sell to American audiences. They even change, like all the names are like American. You know, I find that hilarious. Greta, Carl, or Ken, Kathy, Hannah, George, Cheryl. It's like, come on, buddy. Yes, the movie's about a bunch of strangers that are given a free promotional ticket to this new renovated theater in Italy. And essentially there becomes an infestation of a demon outbreak. And it's about these people in this theater that can't get out, that need to survive essentially the demons inside. I call it kind of the Italian Evil Dead. Wow. And I think so. That's how I
can see that. I can see that, yeah.
Demons. And I got to be honest, I'm going to start off saying that I'm not the biggest fan of Italian horror. I know that you and me are a little different on this, but I absolutely love Demons. It's one of my favorites, if not the favorite of mine for Italian flicks. I love it. It is gory. It is mean. It's hilariously convoluted. The soundtrack pretty much rocks, which is something you and me never agree on, but I'm going to say this. I love the soundtrack, man.
Claudio Simonetti. Who's part of Goblin, who's done a lot of the Dario.
I did not know that, because I know that
he's
you
the keyboard guy on with Goblin.
You were making fun of me about the Goblin last video.
Yeah, I'll shut up. I'm not gonna hammer you to mincemeat right out the gate. So I'm just gonna wait till
So basically, Evil Dead in movie theaters is how I would sell this if I were promoting the movie. That's what this is. Though it does alter, of course, as it goes on. But John, you're a little more into Italian horror, so how about you tell me a little bit of this backstory, because I know very little except for what I read on like Wikipedia and IMDb.
Demons was produced by one of my favorite directors, Dario Argento, and
they put his name right at the beginning too.
Of course, because he was, he's a big name.
Yeah,
in Italy.
On the cover too.
Yeah.
Presents.
Argento presents. He also co-wrote it. Actually, there's a lot of little Italian connection. If in Demons, the guy with the mask that gives out the invites.
Yeah, that's cool part.
He was actually played by Dario Argento's protege, Michele Soavi, who directed some really, in my opinion, obviously, great film. His three that really marked me were Stage Fright. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the Owlhead, right?
Yeah, kind of like what was that?
It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's not good. It's fucking great.
I mean, I think that's a video for another day, I guess, sir. It's good. I'm giving you credit. It's good.
Okay. And he did The Church. which was actually distributed in
right?
some territories. Yep, as Demon Fury.
That's what I read.
And he did. I think it was his crowning achievement. It really got super like well received in terms of critics and shit. Del Amor de la Morte, which was released in the States as Cemetery Man with Rupert Everett. Never seen it?
No, I've never seen it, no.
Guys, check that out. If you like horror comedy, it's horror comedy in a suave way. And, you know, a lot of nudity, a lot of gore. It's a great film. So Cemetery Man and Stage Fright 2. The Church is his lesser one of the three, but we're deviating a lot today. But Demons, you know, I saw early on, and it's kind of like the Italian counterpart of Night of the Demons. I call this kind of movie a horror party movie.
I can see that, actually. Yeah.
It's a movie that wants to have a good time. And that's what I love about, like, Demons goes all out. You know, the gore, their practical effects, whether, you know, sometimes they're excellent, sometimes they're a bit not as excellent, but they still work. It's a movie that can't lose, because when it hits it out of the park, it wins. And when it kind of falters, like when the helicopter drops down, bing, the idea is great, the execution not as great, but it still works because it's, I wouldn't say so bad it's good. That's too strong. For me, I respect the boldness, the balls.
It takes brass balls.
And obviously, you know, pushing the envelope on a low budget near the end, where basically one of the heroes, the blonde pretty boy, I won't even bother trying to find his name. The blonde pretty boy gets on the bike and he's slashing people with a sword. He's got the chick in the back. Remember that bit?
It's the big heroic moment. Yeah, he has a samurai sword and a dirt bike. It's amazing.
Yeah. And the dirt bike's going fucking over theater seats and shit. I mean, the acting was what it was. Actually, you know what? Fuck that.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the pimp, bro. Bobby Rhodes.
Okay. Because I wrote down in the good section, John, I wrote down pimp and two hoes. Now, I should say this. I don't know the proper nomenclature, but he is a pimp and he does technically have two hoes.
Yeah,
and I thought that was an hilarious little addition, because for some reason when I first saw it back in the day, I didn't really get it. I just thought it was like a guy hanging out with like two girls. And then when I was doing a little research, it was like a pimp, two hoes, blind guy. I'm like, I love the Italians. I love them. You guys, they're all over the place, man. Sure, but the one hoe turns into the first demon, which is like the coolest part.
Her name is
Rosemary. Rosemary in the movie, but it's Rosemary is her name in the movie, but Greta.
Her real name is Greta or Gioretta Giancarlo.
Yeah, I'm so bad. I could roll my tongue, but
she was great. She was actually great.
She has that look. She is like the if you ever see pictures in the movie, it's her. It's a cool look, man. I mean, yeah, bravo to her, man.
She actually, funnily enough, she friended me on Facebook like a month ago or something. So I was like, this woman friends me on Facebook. I'm like, I know this girl. Where do I know this girl from? Put her name in the thing. Oh shit, it's the chick from Demons. Awesome. Seth, you're in.
Yeah, Greta is like the driving force of the movie. It's a cool little scene. Her transformation. They always get the little boils in the neck.
In the bathroom. Pop out.
Again, this is something that I want to kind of circle back to that I really like about this movie, even if it might be considered, I guess, a part of the problem, is that you can't really predict it because it just keeps getting wilder and weirder.
Yeah.
And sort of just like batshit crazy. And that's where I think you mean by the so good it's bad. But I agree with you. Like, it's actually not bad. It's convoluted, it's silly, but it's earnest. When things just start to get absolutely crazy and the gore gets out of and people are making the decisions, I'm having a great time,
Yeah. You know what? And that's one thing I always loved about Italian cinema, like genre cinema. It pushes the envelope. They always go further. American genre cinema, especially now, actually, is way more Puritan. The one bit is the woman with the blind guy.
I wrote it down. She just starts fucking around like mid-movie. Yeah.
He's fucking getting nailed on the side, all this poor bastard.
Can't really watch the movie.
Behind the curtain, and I'm like, you don't see this shit today. And the second scene that really popped at me, which I actually read was cut out like in England and stuff like that when it was initially released, is when, the cutaway of the hoodlums in the car, the cokeheads.
Yeah, I have it right here.
And the coke blows all over the place, and the leader's like, pick it up. So they're scraping it with like razor blades to put it back in the cocaine back in the bag, and it falls on this girl's breast. And this one guy takes the razor blade and slowly picks it up off her breast, near her nipple and everything. And I totally forgotten that scene. And I'm watching, I'm like, and she's getting off on it. He's getting off on it. And the way it was shot, I was like, this is pretty fucking hot.
Yeah, I know. It was like,
and a fucking, you know, in American movies, sexuality was more like bang, you know, tit shot, bing, bing, bing. But in Italian cinema, I felt there was always like different angles and stuff that I enjoyed.
Well,
or maybe I'm tripping out, you know.
No, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
The Italians are super horny, and I found that really fascinating because, I mean, I wrote it down, like coke scraped off a punk's tit. And the guy, he's like doing it slowly. And part of me is like, you know, I'm getting a little like, I'm like, oh, this is kind of hot. I mean, because it's like, it goes longer than it should. And even if that was an American movie,
it goes near the nipple. And...
But it's like a fucking minute-long scene. And like the girl's kind of getting, the guy's getting, he goes, maybe there's some more farther down.
Well, maybe there's some more further down.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the blind guy's woman, she's like cheating on him. Because Europeans are they're just hornier people. And I think it has a lot to do with my country being very Puritan.
You see, I don't think they're hornier people. I think they're more open about it.
Sure, but I equate that with the same because we're all repressed over here. You know, you see a tip.
We're repressed behind closed doors. You know, we're all animals. No, aren't you an animal behind closed doors, Lance?
But I'm not repressed.
Un animales.
I don't represent the American people. I'm half naked here, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, I tried to challenge you today. You know, you see.
I mean, that's what I would wear around like the president for sure. You know, like that's being respectful. But I love how sexual this movie is because you're right. It goes farther than you think, and to me, I find it like hilarious because it's just blatant. People, like I said, 4 minutes in the movie, like they sit down, the movie starts, and like people are making out. It's just like everybody's like kind of going for it. You know, the girls walking around like, hey, this is a movie.
That's an idea from the film that I really like, the way that it in terms of its setup, where, you know, they're watching a film and in the film, shit's happening that parallels the buildup of, you know, her getting demonized. And
it's very meta way before meta was even a thing, or at least a big thing.
I'm sorry. I got a fucking fly on my head right now. You see that? You see that? Look at that. You see it there?
Well, slap your fucking head.
It won't fuck off. Am I gonna get it, guys? Place your bets.
Go.
Oh, motherfucker!
Yeah, you see, you hesitated, man. It's gone. That actually brings me to a question I have. Is that I actually really enjoy that sort of meta parallel between the movie and what's happening in real life in the movie. Yeah. I'm actually kind of confused. I was wondering, like, is this movie smarter and I'm just being an idiot, or doesn't make any sense? Like, what does it actually mean? Because she gets cut, like in the movie, she turns into a demon. The movie sort of predicts things, but then it doesn't really answer the question. It actually makes it seem like the movie and the mask have nothing to really do with it. I don't really. Okay, I was like, man, I guess I'm not smart because I don't get it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Initially, I thought, okay, it's the mask, you know, because, you know, the girl puts on the mask, she gets the cut, and she gets infected. So the mask is the thing that
turns you,
the demon gene or whatever. And remember I think she was like blonde or something, the usher, very creepy looking usher. I was sure she was in on it. You know, the girl that takes the tickets.
Yeah, she's the one that is like walking around looking at people making out.
Yeah. But she's not in on it. She becomes a demon. She gets, you know, killed or becomes a demon. Yeah. It's like, why did they play it like she's in on it, and then she's not in on it? And the mask, how's that connected to the movie?
Well, because outside the theater, people are infected. So exactly, I read something I don't actually get. I don't know if it's
straight up, and especially it makes very little sense if you really stop and think about it, and even more so when you watch the second one, because the second one there's no mask. It's a reenactment of what happened after the ending of the first one.
So it's funny. It's okay. Well, I should say this. I've seen the second one once, and I was kind of lukewarm on it, so I never really revisited it.
Yeah, me too. I actually watched it recently. Yeah.
I don't remember it being on TV, but I do remember. I think my biggest disappointment was it's not an actual sequel. It's one of those like it's just the same movie, just in a different location.
Well, it's like, you know, there's that new Evil Dead movie coming out. Evil Dead Rises or some shit, right?
Yeah. It's like an apartment building.
Set in a high rise. Well, set in a high rise. And there's a movie on TV. And for some reason, everybody in the fucking building is watching the same movie. It's about demons. And they try to play the same trick that, you know, what's happening on TV parallels what is happening in the high rise.
Yeah, it's the same movie in a different setting.
Yeah,
it's not an actual
right
sequel.
down. Actually, not that I don't want to get too far into Demons 2. That might be its own show down the road, but right down to the same cutaway of a gang of hoodlums in a car. Same fucking shit, and not as
same
good.
Movie. Yeah,
not as good because the cutaway in the Demons, the first one, like the guy driving the car, he's so angry. He's such a hard ass.
But they're just going. What I wrote down, my favorite part is like, but they're going for like a nice, relaxing drive. Like they're not really going anywhere. They're just kind of hanging out doing coke
and doing coke out of a can of coke. Yeah.
But like if you think about it, all they're doing is just kind of chilling. Like back when we were in our teens and early 20s, or me for my teens, we'd like drive around before weed was legal, and like we'd like smoke a joint. That's what they're doing. They're just like chilling around driving, but they're all tense because it's coke, and I love it. They're all just like, it's like, yeah, but you got nowhere to go, buddy. You got nowhere to go. It's okay. Relax.
There was actually a lot of, and I'm not gonna name them because I know Billy Idol's Wet Wedding, and I think because I saw 1 and 2 back to backs, and I'm confusing them. I think Here Comes the Rain by The Cult was in part 2. Here comes the rain. I
haven't seen 2 in years, man. I don't know. But I know that 1 had a bunch of American music because they wanted to sell this to American markets, and they knew that would help. I knew that. I remember hearing that, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Because I love the soundtrack in this, for the most part. I thought it was great. The American rock music, and even I would say it was some metal, right? I mean, at least my interpretation of metal. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
I made it like kind of rocking. It was like pa 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 pa, and people.
That's what I said. It's a horror party movie, man.
It is.
We have one of the series we have on Joe Blow Horror Originals. My idea, horror party movies, like movies you could play when you're having a party. You're drinking beers with your friends, or smoking up, or getting a head job in a corner, and you play that movie in the back, and it's a blast. So Demons, one of the best ones. Night of the Demons as well for me.
No, that's great. Classic.
Evil Dead 2 to some degree. Remains of the Day. No, I'm kidding.
That's your favorite movie, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan. I don't think we're giving Bobby Rhodes, the pimp, enough love, to be honest.
One of the best parts is when he's trying to throw the one woman over, or I think it's a woman, or maybe it's a guy. I forget this. He's trying to throw one of the people over because he thinks it's infected, and it's a woman because the blind guy's like, no. He's just being a complete piece of shit. It's that like aggressive, like overly aggressive for some reason role, and I absolutely love it because it's such a cool classic. He's bald. He has the beard. No, he's amazing. I wrote down pimping 2 hoes. I love the guy.
Yeah, I was actually disappointed. By the way, guys, if you're gonna watch this show and you haven't seen the movie, maybe you should watch the movie first and then watch the show, because I'm about to give you guys a spoiler. So if you haven't seen the movie,
I mean, John, I think all of our conversations are spoilers. I mean,
I know that, but I saw a couple comments recently. Oh, you spoiled this for me. You spoiled that. Like 2 or 3 comments or something.
Well, if we mention movie, let's just say this going forward, we're going to spoil it because one, they're old. And even if it's new, we won't talk about anything. I think vaguely because we want to dig into what we like and don't like, and to do
maybe
that,
let's just put a spoiler fucking thingo, or maybe we don't, and we just take the comment and gives a fuck. How about that?
Oh, I mean, fair enough. But either way, yes. So
spoiler. When Bobby Rhodes, the pimp with 2 hoes, gets it and becomes a demon, I was very disappointed. But I think the character became very popular because Bobby Rhodes is in the second one as a new character, not a pimp. He's like a gym instructor, but playing the same role basically, and he lasts longer now. Takes control of the situation. Come on, what'd I tell you? With that voice. Come on, get that thing over the door. That kind of shit. He's hilarious, man. I love that dude.
Well, in this, I like when he turns, and I mean, there's a scene where I think they're walking upstairs, they're walking down a hallway, and they all have the glowing eyes. And he's like leading the group. That's a cool visual.
Yeah, nice wide shot. I think it's slow motion. Yeah. Actually, part 2 has a similar shot, even more trippy. It's a top shot from a staircase. So the demons are coming up a staircase, and of course, the director had them look up, so it's from the character's point of view, and they look up. You see these glowing eyes. It's a pretty cool shot, and that's that's one thing. We talk about music, the acting, the gore, the cheese, the fact that it makes no fucking sense.
Well, it's directed well. That's what you're trying to say, right?
I was going,
Yeah.
You got to hand it to, Italians. I mean, I keep going back to Argento because he was a huge influence on me. But Argento, Soavi, and Lamberto Bava, the way they frame, the way, the edit, they know when to use slow motion for maximum impact. I don't know. There's something about genre Italian cinema that's elevated, in my opinion. Useless opinion, by the way, guys and gals. It's elevated. I mean, to the point that I'm putting this out there.
Okay, let's do it.
Dario Argento never really popped outside of Italy. I mean, there's people like me, and I'm sure a lot of you guys,
Well, I mean, Suspiria, even for somebody who's not the biggest fan of Italian horror, even I know, like,
yeah, but he didn't John Woo it. John Woo did his shit, then he did Hard.
Oh, you're saying he didn't come over.
Face Off. Yeah. I think Argento did one film here in the States, was Trauma. It didn't pop. But I'll tell you this: Brian De Palma, Dress to Kill, Blowout, owes a lot. He, in my opinion, people would say, De Palma ripped off Hitchcock. Well, no. I think Argento ripped off Hitchcock and augmented it and did his own thing. And De Palma ripped off Argento.
Interesting.
That's the way I look at it, because you look at Dress to Kill and it's almost a giallo, and the shots and the way the camera moves is very, use a big word, evocative of Mr. Argento. Gracias, hermano. So yeah, man, God bless, genre Italian cinema. For me, of course, giallos are my favorites, but demons is. I know you hate giallos.
I would say I hate it, but I love demons. I mean, this is more my stuff.
Demons, yes, dude.
I mean, you can't. I don't think you can hate demons, even if you walk in and be like, "Well, this isn't making any sense." It's like, yeah, but it's great. Because real quick, before we get into the negatives, I remember seeing this. Not the first time, but it maybe like 10 years back. It might have been at the Music Box or the Davis Theater, somewhere in Chicago, North Side. But when the helicopter comes down, it's just out of nowhere. And that's like such a cool thing. It's just like, it just opens the world, like, bah, bah, and you realize, oh, it's beyond the theater. Like, I agree with you. It's kind of schlocky and it's not necessarily nailed well.
But it's cool. It's still cool,
it's a very cool, that's what I'm saying, though. It's a very cool thing. And and you think that everything is isolated. This is an isolated movie. And it comes down and you're just like, oh, shit. It's more, and they climb up and they realize
the world, yeah.
And I think that's the kind of shit that, like, I absolutely love, and they nail it well. And so I just want to throw that in, that, like, though I would say the movie doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't care, because I love that I can't predict it. It is pretty much like, who's going to live and die? It's like, well, I was wrong the first time I saw it, and even every 10 years I'll forget who lived. I'm like, oh, I think that. Oh, no, that's just that.
That's funny, because only through this conversation did I realize that the movie makes no fucking sense. Because every time I've watched it over the years, I'm just entertained. So I really don't think too far about it. They get affected. There's demons, bada bing, bada boom.
You don't need to, though, because the movie is meant to make. Movies are a visual medium. It's how you feel. I'm sorry, this isn't a book. Like, you could break some rules and be dumb, and if it invokes something, it matters. That's why I love cinema. It's because it does make sense. But guess what? I'm going to walk out of this conversation and love it just as much. I couldn't give a shit. So it does make sense. Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Coming through the back, ripping the throat, scalping the woman. I was like, I remember being like, keep going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they go for the kill, man, with the gore. They go for the kill, man.
But I'll be honest, in terms of just things that I straight up don't like, as much as it does make sense, I don't care. I don't put that as a negative, because I love convoluted, dumb stuff. Hold on. What's her name? I don't like that they kill off Cheryl. That's the only thing I don't like. I don't think it's earned. I know it's supposed to be kind of a twist, and I respect the idea of being like, oh, you never know. But it's like, dude.
You mean at the end of the movie, right?
Yeah, let the girl and the guy go. Come on, man. They're in the truck with the little kid with the shotgun.
It was a cheap shot. Yeah, it was a cheap shot.
Because I like that they are driving off with a heavily armed family, and I love that there's a child with a giant gun who's just like, come on, Dad. Let's go.
Yeah.
No, that's my other thing, is because I felt like she should have lived with
and especially taking into account that in part 2, so now the whole world is a demon apocalypse. That's what I got from the ending of part 1.
Yes.
Then you get in part 2, the way I got it, you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm often wrong, that what happened in part 1 happened in a isolated area, and everybody knows about it. So now in part 2, people are living regular lives, but they're aware of what happened in part 1. But it wasn't like a full-blown freaking global apocalypse. Basically, man, this movie makes no fucking sense. And the sequel makes no fucking sense. And the connection between the two makes no fucking sense. It's not sturdy. So, yes, Lance. Yes. Whacking the chick for a final cheap sucker punch, you know?
I mean, it's my one negative where I'm like, hey, it's the only thing I was like, come on, guys, just let him have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, after your conversation, I think I need to rewatch number 2 again because it's been so long that there's a lot of things I don't remember. I don't remember part 1 being a part of 2. I remember 2 being almost just like a redo. So maybe we'll do that.
I mean, it is a redo. It is a redo. Except
but I don't remember them even mentioning part 1. So I have to rewatch it. Maybe
well, part 2 on the TV is a bunch of kids in the truck, but it's not the same actors as the actors from the end of the first one. But either they're different people in the truck or they're the same people played by different actors. Is it a movie or reenactment? I don't fucking know. But there is a vague connection between the two. But at the end of the day, it's a copy paste with different location. You kind of nailed it. So, look, in closing, guys, you know, if you've seen Demons, you already know what the fuck we're talking about. If you have not seen Demons, 1985, Lamberto Bava, check it out. Invite some friends over, get a pizza, a couple beers. You know, if you smoke grass, smoke that grass, and trust me, you're gonna have a fucking blast. Actually, if you have never seen Demons and you're gonna do what I just told you to do, you thank me in a comment. Thanks, Fallon. Thanks, Errol, because we had a fucking blast. All right. Any last words, Mr. Velchuk?
I was gonna say, you know, always help us out, like, subscribe. You know, we're trying to survive on this channel, good old stuff. Also, you know, I know me and John have been trying to get like a little Q&A section going in these videos eventually. So, you know, John's in the film business, man. If you have any questions for this guy or questions for us, man, just pop in the comments. I'd like to kind of eventually start adding that because I feel it's a good way to engage the audience. And it's something that, you know, I'm a talkative guy and John's talkative. And I you know, we see comments from people that comment a lot. And I always like those people. I try to always write back, and John does too. So it'd be a good way to kind of bring us all together. But yeah, besides that, man, not the biggest Italian horror guy, but I am pro Demons 100%. So I'm glad that
comment on what you just said. That's a good idea, by the way. Number one. You see, you know, you guys watch the show, you guys comment, and, you know, we try to comment back. Sometimes it's Lance, sometimes it's me. I try sometimes to comment as my John Fallon YouTube account so that people know that it's me and not you, because you say stupid shit. So
I think I'm very polite.
I'm fucking with you, man. I'm playing. But yeah, no, that's a great idea. You know, to just kind of like bring us and you guys and gals closer. So yeah, film industry, what'd you say? If any of you guys are in the film industry or starting off in the film industry and want to get in the film industry and you have questions, yeah, shoot them my way. You know, if I don't know, I don't know. But I've been in this business for about too long under varied hats. So
you've been on sets, you've made 2 movies, you've produced, you've put money in, you've been around it. Yeah, you know your stuff. So
yeah, so I'm more than happy to help. And I think that's something we should do more moving forward. Not just about, you want to get in the film business, but just stuff that you know a lot of shit. You know, I know a lot of shit. So, I don't know, maybe like find shit to talk about. A lot of shit, you know. I'm throwing it out there.
I'm opinionated.
I can, if it sticks, yeah.
I can make the best goddamn pizza you've ever had. So let's do it.
Oh yeah, I want his fucking pizza recipe.
Well, I'm not. I'll die with that recipe, but I'll help you. I'll help you make your own.
Dude, you'll die. You're gonna fuck. Damn it. You
hey, John,
smoker, you.
Until next time, buddy. You know, cheers, and I'm glad to see you back from your travels.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back, and great to hang out with you as always. And guys, thank you. Cheers. If you haven't seen Demons, go watch it. You've seen Demons, watch it again. Have a good time.